So welcome everyone to our ZipLogix Member Benefits Training, Part 3. This is for members of the South Carolina Association of Realtors and is brought to you by your association to help you take advantage of today's tools and options for your real estate business. Now, in today's session, we're going to take a look at sending our forms directly from zipForm 6. We're going to go into zipForm and we're going to talk about how we can not only email forms or save them online, but we can also send our contracts by faxing them from any computer. We can do this without any extra printing or downloading of forms. These give us quick and easy ways to send customized contract packages to anyone at any time. And we can send forms directly to others, and we can also send them for signatures or even share them online. We'll talk about some of those additional options as well today. For today's training, we're going to start off by talking about saving and printing. So I'll do a quick rundown of saving your files online. Then we'll talk about printing one page or printing many pages or forms. We'll talk about emailing forms and the handy address book to save you time in your transactions. We'll talk about including notes in your email so you could have little sticky notes on the forms. And we'll also talk about faxing forms directly from zipForm 6, including how to request a receipt that this fax has gone through. So we'll start today with our printing tips. Now, in order to do this, I first need to go into zipForm 6. For today's training, I'm going to use zipForm 6 Professional. Now, you can get to that very quickly by visiting screaltors.org. Just click the zipForm and Standard Contracts button or the Access Now button on screaltors.org. Don't forget, you may need to sign in if you're not already signed in. That means entering your last name and your NRDS number to access your account. Now, when you access your account, zipForm 6 is going to pop up in a new window on your screen. And as we talked about in our last training, you can use this home page that you see when zipForm first opens to start a new file at any time and set aside contracts that you'd like to work in for a specific property or a specific client. Now, I happen to have already set aside a few contracts and started with some transactions. Here you can see Ocean Drive with James Smith. We're going to open that file today, and we're going to continue working on it and sharing information. Before I open the file, I'd like to point out that if you're just looking to send information right away, you don't even have to go into the Forms area. You can click the Email button, and that takes you directly to that email option over here in the Forms area. So that's a neat little shortcut. So remember, right from your menu, let's just close out of this and do that one more time to review. Right from your menu on your home screen for the file, just hover over that menu there. You can shortcut right into sending these forms via email by clicking the Email button. Now, here inside of our email options, we're able to choose who we're sending this to. You can go ahead and type in someone's email address, or use an address book to select their email. We're going to take a look at that address book in just a moment. We can also enter additional comments. And then select the files we would like to send and click the Send button. So it's very easy to share information with others right from zipForm. As you can see, in just a few clicks, I can send off all or part of that transaction file. And you can do that at any time from the email button right here on your file menu. And that email will arrive immediately. In fact, mine just did. And it will have your files, your forms, attached as PDFs. Now these are locked PDFs so that no one can make changes or alter what you've put into the forms. Now, let's close out of that email and let's take a look step by step at some of the things we can do to save and send our forms. First, I'd like to point out at the top of the page we have this File menu tab. That File menu helps you save and share your forms. We spoke in our last training about going ahead and clicking that Save button whenever you've made changes. If you have made a change and it is not yet saved, let's make a quick change here. Then that button turns blue to let you know that you have unsaved changes. You can click that at any point in time, and that saves this file online where you can come back and open it again, like we just did. That means you can continue working inside of the forms that you've prepared. You can open up your different addendums and contracts and continue editing and updating information. Once you've made a change, remember to click Save to save your changes. Now, when we are ready to send these off, we can go ahead and use the rest of the file buttons to help us out. You can save as a PDF, print, email, and even fax these forms. And if you're working truly paperlessly, you can even go ahead and use the e-sign option to send for signatures. We'll talk about that briefly today. Let's start off by going ahead and clicking Save as PDF. This is if you do wish to download these forms. You can click Save as PDF, and this will allow you to select the different documents that you would like to download. You'll notice these same checkboxes. They look just like what we used to select what was going to be sent to someone. So zipForm uses the same checkboxes, the same layout, again and again to make your life easier. You can choose to export these forms as separate or a single file. You can also choose to include sticky notes. If you include sticky notes, these notes will not print out. They will simply be included as part of the PDF. Then click Export to select where you would like to save these documents. Name and save your PDF, and that's created right from zipForm. But we don't have to download. We can go ahead and print, email, fax, or send for signatures. If you choose to print, you get a similar option. Print the current form, print all forms, print a blank form, or print a sample form. If you choose Print All Forms, just like saving as a PDF, you can choose what you're printing. In fact, not only can we choose which forms are going to be printed or sent, but if you click this little circle next to a form, you can even choose which pages are being printed or sent. So if I only need a copy of page 2, I can choose to only print page 2. You can choose the order as well. Use these blue buttons to move these documents up and down in the list. And then click Print. You'll see your standard printer dialog. You can choose your printer if you have more than one, like I do. And then click OK. And that will print out your documents. Now, when we are emailing documents, we do have the choice, just like saving as a PDF, to include what are called sticky notes. Sticky notes can be saved electronically here on your zipForm forms. They can be included when you download a PDF or when you email. However, they are not included if we print, fax, or send for signatures. So these little sticky notes can be a great way to add a note, but the note does not change what's in the contract. So let's take a look and add a note that we're going to include when we email these forms. Click and drag to add a note anywhere on the page. You can go ahead and place that note. You can click to add as many notes as you need. Each time you click this yellow square, it will add a note. So just be aware of that. If you click a lot of them, you'll have a lot of notes. Don't worry. If you see that it's something you don't need or you have extra notes, click the X in the upper right-hand corner to delete a note. Now, with our notes, we can go ahead and click and drag to place them anywhere, and then click and type to type in our note. This can be a quick reminder to yourself or anything that will help you inside of your transaction. Now, we can also include notes for clients. So in this case, I'm placing this note for the client. You can choose a different color, a different caption, a different font. You can even add links to other pages. Just keep in mind, if you add a link to another page or another form, that will only work within zipForm. It will not work when you send the PDF. So let's select a different color. You can go ahead and select any color that makes sense. And you might even color code these in order to have a different color for different things you want to stand out for you or your clients. When you're ready, when you've added your notes and looked over your files, you might even go ahead and go to Tools and spell check your forms. I'm glad I did that. And then come back to this File menu and let's email. Click Email, and you see the same options we saw earlier when we chose to email directly from the home page. We can choose who we are sending these documents to, add comments, and select what we're sending. Let's start with who we're sending this to. As you saw earlier, you can type in an email address, but sometimes that leads to typos. So there is an address book within zipForm. This little address card will open up your address book. You can save as many contacts as you need here inside of the address book, and they're saved safely and securely for you. You can go ahead and click Address Book if you need to save someone new inside of your address book. You can click Add to add somebody new, or click to import a file like a CSV or Excel file or a vCard file in order to add that contact to your address book. When you're done, click Close, and you'll see your selection options. So here I can go ahead and click on the person I would like to add, and then we'll go ahead and click OK. And then we can go ahead and send these forms. Now, when you click on a contact from your address book, that inserts their email address into your forms. And this way, we can go ahead and insert that email address into the sending dialog. So that's there where we're sending. And then click Send to send that off. But before we send that off, we have the option to enter additional comments. We have the option to choose whether we are attaching a separate PDF for each form. So that would mean 3 attachments on this email if I've checked off 3 forms, or send one single PDF, one single attachment. Remember, you can move these forms up and down, and you can even select which page you're sending. If you have additional documents stored inside of your Zip Vault, then you can select additional documents that you'd like to send as well. Also, if you have Zip Vault, you can attach a fax cover sheet to this email. And anyone can use that fax cover sheet to fax you documents directly to your vault. You'll also notice over here on the right the ability to include sticky notes. If you check the box to include sticky notes, then that sticky note that we added will be visible in the PDF attachment for your client. However, it still will not print because, again, it's not altering the text or content of the forms. And then, when you're ready, click Send. This packages up your packet of documents and sends or emails these documents to the people you specify. That email arrives right away, and they're able to open that email and read those documents and view those attachments. Now, we also have the option to send a fax. So we're not just limited to emailing. We can go ahead and fax documents. Again, I might use the address book to save time and be more accurate. I can add additional comments. And make sure that you check the box for a delivery confirmation. So you'll get a confirmation that this fax was delivered. You can choose to attach a fax cover sheet so that someone could fax back to you. And check off the forms and documents you'd like to send. Then click Send. And that fax is processed and sent directly from zipForm. So no more waiting in front of a fax machine. Now, when we send these emails or send these faxes, I'll just open up this email right now, we can see the different documents that we've included. We can preview these documents. Just keep in mind, you might see a message, depending upon your computer layout, saying that you should preview documents from a trustworthy source. But here we can see this document contains the forms that we've selected in the order we put them in. It also has that fax cover sheet that we talked about. And anyone can use this cover sheet, following the instructions on it, to fax documents back to you inside of your zip vault for this file. And remember, going back to zipForm, you can always access that zip vault by clicking the Zip Vault Documents tab. Now, on the Zip Vault Documents tab, there is one other way of sharing documents, and Zip Vault is part of your member benefits, so you can come over here to Share Documents at any point in time. Click the Share Documents button, and that will take you to the Document Sharing workspace. Now, when we are sharing documents, we're able to share any of the documents that were saved here inside of the vault. And we're able to share and email a link to view these documents. So you're not sending an attachment. And that can be a huge benefit because sometimes attachments are too big for an email, or sometimes you can't get over and open up an attachment for some reason. Maybe it goes into a spam folder, or maybe it's filtered off by somebody's email. So it's better, if you can, to go ahead and send a link instead. And we can using Zip Vault. So under Zip Vault, I click that Share Documents button. Looks just like this same button to return to our forms. And I'm able to add recipient, to add someone new to the list. You can use your contacts again. You can go through and choose when you're going to send an invitation to view documents. And you can also edit that invitation, edit the subject or the body. Then check the box next to the document or documents that you would like to share. And click Update to save your changes. So that's an easy and quick way to go ahead and send a link to someone. You'll see that they receive an email telling them that you have invited them to review these documents using Zip Vault. And they can click this link to view their documents. So this could be your client or a broker or anyone else who you're sharing a lot of documents with. It's an easy and quick way to go ahead and share documents online where the user simply sees a link and they can click to view the documents that you share. Now, we've gone over a number of ways of going ahead and sharing our documents. Coming back here to the Zip Vault Share page, let's return to our transaction. That's over here in the lower right-hand corner. And let's look at one more way we can share documents. From the File menu, we can click e-sign and then click Sign. and that will allow you to send for digital signatures. You can add zipLogix Digital Ink to your account. You do get some Digital Ink credits as part of your member benefit, so it's an easy, quick, and free way of going through and sending documents out to others for your transactions. Not only are you sending the documents, but you're also able to ask people to sign or initial in certain areas. You can also add in text boxes, check boxes, and other tools that will help your clients or the agent on the other side or anyone else you're working with to complete the forms. To do so, you'll want to click Continue to zipLogix Digital Ink. And that will take you to zipLogix Digital Ink, which will allow you to customize where people are signing and even add documents so you can customize what people are signing. Now, we've learned a number of ways of sharing documents and sharing forms right through zipForm. Let's go ahead and do a quick review of sharing our documents, and then we'll talk about our upcoming training. Now, we can go ahead and email forms to send as a PDF to anyone, enter an email address, click to open an address book for contacts, enter a message, select your options, select your forms, and click to send. We can do about the same thing when we're faxing the forms. Just make sure when you are faxing forms that you check the box for a delivery confirmation so you'll get that email confirmation that the fax was delivered. Now, when you're emailing or faxing the forms, you want people to be able to get a hold of you. And one of the ways they can get a hold of you is by looking at the bottom of your forms where they will see your contact information. If you would like to edit that contact information at any point in time, you can do so from your profile in zipForm. Click the profile button and you will see your information. If you are changing your information, please also notify your brokerage and your association to make sure that they have the correct and most current information for your success. Now, if you need help at any point in time with saving or sending or any other aspect of zipForm, you can always access frequently asked questions and how-to videos. These are available from the Help tab and from our general support page, which is simply support.ziplogix.com. There's also some great help and support available for you at screaltors.com, and you can always visit us at ziplogix.com if there's anything we can help you out with. Now, we'll be continuing these monthly trainings for you as a South Carolina Realtor. These trainings are available live for a lunch break, and you can also attend them or view them as recordings later on. So make sure you stay tuned to screaltors.com for the next upcoming training and for those handy recordings of our trainings that will help you review everything we've talked about.